We had no idea that my father was going to run again for the presidency. I mean, my goodness gracious, he was old. It's time to retire, have a good life. But no, he decided to run again in 1980. And it was kind of interesting that here we were at the house when he was going to make the announcement to us. And what my father told us as a family, we decided to make that decision to run in 1980, was he said, you know, I've been all over the country speaking. I just got back from Atlanta. And whether it's Atlanta or Omaha or Denver, wherever it is I go, when I get off the plane and get to the hotel, the bellman handling my bags says to me, Governor, you've got to run again for president for us. So when I get to my room, the chambermaid's got a note under my pillow. Governor, you've got to run for president again for us. And he said, based on that, I've decided I'm going to run again. Now, it's interesting. He didn't come to us and say the president of Coca-Cola, the president of Pepsi, or David Rockefeller, in fact, came to him and said, you've got to run. No, grassroots. It was the working class people who, in fact, came to him and asked him to run again. And so he made the decision to run again. My sister Maureen and Colleen and I were down once again in the cocktail lounge having a glass of wine. And my sister Maureen raised her glass high and she said, well, if he doesn't make it this time, we'll run him for the president of the Chambermaids and Bellhops Union. But he did win in 1980. But it's interesting because 10 years after he told his son that, in fact, he wanted to say Nyet to a Secretary General of the Soviet Union, he was asked to come to Reykjavik by then Secretary General Mikhail Gorbachev. He was brought there to sign the START agreement. My father arrived. Now, you've got to understand, sometimes you have to really be bold. Sometimes you have to go against even the people in your own administration. And this was a moment for Ronald Reagan. Because, you see, everybody in his administration, and I mean everybody, said whatever Mikhail Gorbachev wants, you've got to give him. You've got to get him to sign this agreement. You've got to sign with him because this is going to be your legacy. See, everybody was thinking about Ronald Reagan's legacy except for Ronald Reagan. He was thinking about the world we live in. He was thinking about freedom. That's what he was thinking about. But everybody else was thinking about legacy. Actually, in Washington, what you find out, they were thinking about themselves because they get very selfish in Washington, D.C. It's about them. And they want to go on to the next president and say, here's what I got the president to do, give me a job. And my father kind of knew that too. So here he goes to Reykjavik. Mikhail Gorbachev brings him there. The media is all over the place. The media is saying Ronald Reagan's got to sign on with Mikhail Gorbachev. My God, this is the new great leader. We finally have a leader in the Soviet bloc. And he gets there. Mikhail Gorbachev says, if you want me to sign on to the START agreement, you have to give up SDI. You have to give up Star Wars. This was a signature plan of my father's. And my father understood that with Star Wars, with SDI, where he could figure out a way through whatever to protect the world from incoming missiles, it'd be a great idea. He also knew something else. He knew the Soviet Union was also working on such a plan. And they didn't want us to have a plan just like it. And so Mikhail Gorbachev said, Mr. President, I won't sign on unless you give up SDI or Star Wars. This is a photo of my dad walking away. What do you think my father said to Mikhail Gorbachev? Nyet. I was the only one on the planet that knew what the answer was going to be before he even got there.